We knew that these guys were going to come out and they were going to play hard. You know, Pop's got these guys dialed in, and they're going to put up a fight, especially after what happened in Game 2. And got to give our guys credit. I thought JaVale was instrumental in us having some sort of impact at the beginning of the game. He was great for us on both ends of the floor. He made plays. Otherwise, we could have gotten down big if it wasn't for his energy to start the game. I got to give Klay credit. Klay, he doesn't get enough credit, obviously. He knocked down shots tonight, but he's got a heck of a defensive assignment during this series. He's guarding a guy or chasing a guy like Patty Mills around. He was one of our keys coming into the series is, make life as tough as possible on him because, he's a guy when he gets going, their team wins usually. And I said the stat earlier in the series, at the beginning of the series, they're like 40-4 when Patty scores 10 points or more. So, Klay's been on him quite a bit, and he's done a tremendous job with the help of the rest of his team. Got a little sloppy for us, especially at the beginning. We always talk about winning the possession game, and if we do, we're going to give ourselves a good chance to win. Late in the game, it was sloppy for us, and early in the game, it was sloppy for us, but we found ways throughout the course to go on runs. KD was big for us, especially I think in the third, he was huge for us. He hit shot after shot after shot and just put him in middle pick and roll, and then when David West came in, they had a nice rhythm with a two-man game, so big game for him. And then, Pat McCaw didn't call his number in the first half, kind of threw him out there early in the second half, and he played well for us in the minutes that he was on the floor.
Mark Spears undefeated. Mike, just break down that third quarter with Kevin and that run. I believe it was a 13-0 run that he had.
He was huge for us, Mark. We didn't do anything tricky. He got hot, and we just wanted to keep him in the middle of the floor, attacking downhill and in pick and roll situations, and that's what we did. And as the quarter went along, we started to slow down with our pace a little bit. But other than that, he was terrific. He made the right play every time down the floor, and obviously he made shots. He is who he is. There wasn't anything tricky or anything like that. He made tough shots, and some of the shots he was able to break loose, and they were easy. But he made play after play after play.
Marcus Thompson, Barry in his group. What made you, I guess, turn to KD? It looked like you put him at point. He was taking the ball up, and it was kind of, for a stretch there, it was his show. Was that predetermined, or did you see he was feeling it?
Yeah, he got into a groove, and we have a couple of plays where he's off the ball, and we'll get him the ball once we get into the half court, and then he can play pick and roll. But with the groove that he was in or the rhythm that he was in, there was no need to. He can handle the ball like a point guard. So we just say, you know what, KD, you bring it up. Everybody else get flat. We'll play pick and roll and see what they do to stop it.
Hey, Mike. Phil Barber, Santa Rosa Press-Democrat. You mentioned Klay's defense. By Klay standards, he hasn't really gotten going offensively, mostly in the postseason, definitely not in this series. But he had moments tonight. Is this the kind of game, do you think, that might swing him a little bit offensively?
It definitely could. I thought not only did he shoot the ball well, I thought his drive and kick game was tremendous for us offensively. Not just tonight, but for most nights, his drive and kick game has been good. He's kept it real simple, made the right play, and obviously, once he gets back to shooting or once he gets in a groove, it's lights out when he's cooking too. So, great night for him, especially defensively.
Tim Cowell, Mercury. My couple questions. You talked about Steph's defense before the game. Then he goes out and gets 6 steals. Was that just a matter of him gambling a little bit to get those steals? What did you see in him to get that number?
Well, without watching the tape, Tim, he looked like he was in the right position quite a bit, especially on the weak side. I thought he got a couple of passes that were tipped too. I thought our on-ball coverage was pretty good. We had active hands. We call them stick hands. Our stick hands were really good, tracing the ball when guys tried to make passes, and it might have got deflected a little bit. And he was just in the right spot at the right time defensively on the weak side and came up with a couple of steals that way. And then, he's great at what I call digging the ball out. When the bigs have the ball around the rim or there's a loose ball or somebody tries to take a dribble, Steph is not only crafty offensively, but defensively from time to time. He'll sneak in there and come up with a steal when a big's not looking off of a potential double team. So, again, he's been great for us defensively. I thought when he picked up his third foul, he went a stretch of, I don't know, 8 minutes or so without picking up another one. And we went on a 24 to 8 run during that time. And, I just attribute that to maturity, because he could have easily picked up his fourth foul at that time in the second quarter, which would have caused us some concern in the second half, but he didn't.
And also, I know Andre played, but looked like some of his minutes were limited. You went with McCaw instead of him in the third. Was there any limit with Andre? Was there any reason why maybe he kept his minutes down a little bit?
No, I threw Pat in there at the beginning of the third quarter, and I thought Pat was playing well. And so I went back to him instead of Andre, but he's fine. At least I didn't hear anything from our training staff.
Anthony Slater, Barry News Group. JaVale had, I think, 16 points in about 10 or so first half minutes. He scored in bunches this season when the defenses have kind of ignored him. Did you see something in pregame prep that thought they would kind of defend him that way?
No, Steve was the one that suggested we start JaVale. When we knew Zaza was going to be out, and we started JaVale before in Zaza's spot, and JaVale's done a terrific job when he did start. And what tends to happen with him, you got KD out there, you got Klay out there, you have Steph out there, and like you said, I don't know why, but teams tend to forget about him and/or leave him. And we got a ton of playmakers out there with him, especially with that starting group, and he knows what his role is. He kind of finds his way to the dunker spot or right around the rim, and as soon as his man steps up to help on any dribble penetration, he's at the rim to throw that lob dunk. And on top of that, though, too, I got to give him credit. He did a heck of a job running the floor. He's, for a guy his size, he's very quick, and he got up and down the floor and got a couple of layups in transition and a couple of putbacks just because of his effort, his length, and his athleticism.